We want to get into how to build your acquisition team from the right way. The talking points that we had listed on the site were identifying the right fit for your team, what should be expected from what we call a newbie in your buy center, and then what goals and expectations should be set.
So David, could you talk about who you see as not being the right fit for either the acquisition buyer or the manager?
So I've found that the acquisition strategy is very similar for the guys that I've talked to in the country. Let's get a salesperson that's not making the grade and see if they can get on the phone and buy some cars. In my experience, that is the exact wrong place to look, without question. If you're not able to make it on the sales floor, the amount of work and effort it goes into buying cars will prevent somebody on the sales floor that can't succeed from succeeding in this department. So outside of the car industry is where we've had the best success. Most successful people for the acquisition strategy are people that had no exposure to the car business. The amount of effort that goes into succeeding, which is the 7-to-1 ratio, which I'll get into, which is the amount of phone calls, text messages, and emails that it takes to succeed in this space, is well beyond anything that any salesperson or used car manager is typically used to having to do.
I'm hearing the word hustlers, people that really want to hustle. And you're saying, unfortunately, coming maybe from the showroom floor, there's not that sense of urgency and hustle. And
the ones we stay away from are folks that have not been typically successful in generating their own business. And then conversely, what we really lean into is finding somebody that we can manage to make 100 phone calls a day, to do 75 emails, and do 50 to 75 text messages every day.
You're measuring your success based off of activities by the hour. Specifically, you're looking at the number of calls they make, the number of contacts they make. What's a good percentage? I know you said there's a stark contrast between a rookie, and a veteran, but calls to contacts, maybe give folks an idea of what kind of return or response they can expect.
In 60-minute sprint, somebody needs to make 40 outbound calls. The variance between an acquisition manager and acquisition team member, there is none as it relates to contacts. Where the difference comes in is how many instant cash offers does an acquisition team member give versus an acquisition manager. And that's where the skill set has just a huge impact on the conversion rate. But that's what I'm measuring is instant cash offers, because I know if we give enough instant cash offers, it'll convert into appointments. What are our options as dealers? We go to the auction, which I'll tell you is my least favorite place to source cars, or we buy cars from private party. Obviously, trade-ins are great. Where I think the silver bullet lies, if you want to sort of be a differentiator in the car space, is this private party piece. The private party acquisitions generated over $3 million worth of additional company gross last year. We bought cars from people we would have never met and cars we could have never found at auction. They turned 4 days faster, and we were able to inspect the car before we wrote the check for them. To me, that's a no-brainer. I think my final thought would be something Dale said at the Van Summit. Luck is not a strategy.